It's my pleasure to introduce a Scottish artist from Dundee on the east coast of Scotland, based in London. He actually came all the way from London to be here with you last tonight, so it's really our honor. Thanks for being there. His main focus is drawing. In his Cyborgia Manifesto, he sees his work as a beacon of its time, ahead of time and before its time. He is motivated by transcribing the sociological constructions of his age, the evolution of the flesh. Art is the mirror to shatter the foundations of reality. Art, for him, is a reflection of the coming state of mankind, flesh anxiety, the departure into a new being. So please welcome Graham.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for inviting me to speak here tonight. It's a pleasure. So without further ado, is my PowerPoint on? When we use the reels.
We can watch more dance. Sorry.
That's all right.
This is your PowerPoint, right? Let me just...
Okay. So my name is Graham Gerard Halliday. I'm also known as Hallidonto. And just before we start, a little disclaimer about my accent. So, in case you get struck with, okay? I'm a visual artist, as I said, from Dundee, Scotland. I'm now based in London, and my practice focuses on my Cyborgia Manifesto. But before we explore my manifesto, I would briefly like to explain my thought process behind me as the artist. The body and consciousness have always been an integral focal point of my work, and as a child I was lost in my imagination and all in mind but never in body. When I first laid my eye on the cyborg, I felt power to shield me from the world. And later in my life I experienced a severe accident, a brain injury, which led me to question my reality, the body and my body. Now I know this might sound poetic, but I find an existential struggle with the concept of such a being. So, the Cyborgia Manifesto. The children of the 80s are the prototypes for upgraded humanity. They are the children of the digital age, the children of the first generation cyborg. The concept of humanity is being transformed while postmodernism introduces a new era in art. Via computers, televisions, and cartoons and comics, my childhood was immersed in images of cyborgs and superheroes and machines from the land of the hyper-real. The essence of the cyborg became my own. I identified with the concept of such a being, and it has informed my work to date. Hyper-real in an unreal virtual world. Postmodernism focuses heavily on the concept of the hyper-real, as immortalised by Jean Baudrillard. This concept informs my research and has led me to other spheres of study, cross-referencing various genres influenced by the philosophy of the hyper-real. My work explores the contemporary inhuman condition, and the aesthetics forms used are sculpture, conceptual drawing, and video and installations. The modern world viewed through the cathode ray, digital surveillance, and observations of contemporary society have compelled me to explore a dystopian vision. Men are only as good as their technical developments allow them to be. George Orwell. Excuse me. Contemporary society explores the perversions of the media. Serial killers are glorified, news is controlled and censored, military regimes and dictatorships prevail. The dystopian vision prevails over all. My drawings are created using a continuous line and then worked into to add flesh. The images that are created are cyborgs, reflecting the body's dystopian descent into the world of the hyper-real. The drawings have a classical style, but flow in an expressively twisted dystopian vision of contemporary society. My early work concentrated on the bare bones of the cyborg. It carries no flesh. It is the basis of my work in progress. It is naked and stark, as is the central feature in Duchamp's The Bride Stripped Bare by her bachelor's diva. The drawings are pure cyborg without embellishment. They are infantile and simplistic in their appearance, but not in their construction, being drawn in one continuous line. A man who does not accept the conditions of his life sells his soul, Charles Baudelaire. From this premise, I conceived that my firstborn cyborg would interpret the modern age as I perceived it. He would grow and evolve through time and influence. Each epoch carries with it the interpreters of that age, and it is in the French symbolist movement of painters, poets and novelists that I find particular empathy. Their dystopia is veiled in grandeur, concealing in the subject matter the notion of fear and decay, which pervades their various works. In contrast, the cyborg image openly displays that decay as it evolves into a continuing motif in my work. My work is of its time, before its time, and ahead of its time. Thank you.
Yes, questions? Wow, you timed it well.
I was worried about my voice, to be fair.
Nothing to add, so maybe I'm going to say something a little bit
That's fine.
but this is not a rhetorical device to interpret modernity. You would like that. Yeah, you would like it.
But it's an archaic mode of doing it.
Okay. So you would like a change in the human condition under this kind of...
Well, no, I'm definitely not a transhumanist.
Okay, you are not. Okay.
I mean, the
What
idea
is
of
the-
death, the idea of death is more pleasing for me than being infinite.
All right.
You know,
And
for sure. So, yeah.
it's not something that you are hoping, it's something that you are describing, right?
Yeah, I'm describing that, and
Okay.
the idea of, like, as I say, this kind of existential, like, sort of flesh anxiety. I mean, we're going to probably be quicker, morph into this being, and then we're probably going to have to be afraid we're going to have to backtrack, you know, because
All right.
you know, I don't think it's going to be a good thing. I'm quite scared of the idea of, you know, of the body morphing into this being. You know, what is going to be the idea of birth? You know, how will we have children? You know, how will we? You know, will it just be autonomous beings? Will there be needs for buildings? You know, it's really, you know, growing up, the things that I watched, like what I watched in, like, from Tarkovsky to, you know, from all these films, is kind of, you know, like you had this like loner kind of character. You know, it's like, well, this cyborg's going to be continuously walking around different planets, different Earth. You know, doing what? You know, what will we do? You know, how will we? The idea of having kids for me fascinates me. Because as you said, a copy of a consciousness, a copy of a copy of a copy. But when two consciousnesses come together and create another being, no, I don't think that could happen. I think it's impossible. It's kind of scares me. You know. Yeah.
I acknowledge your work, and I feel that you're tapping into the future now.
Yeah.
What I believe a couple of weeks ago, I was watching the Dr. Francesca's video, and I believe one of the things you were talking about is the fact that we ourselves as human beings now, if we're doing any kind of enhancements of plastic surgery, or if we've had any operations or we have any kind of artificial limbs or something like that, we're becoming cyborgs. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is already happening,
Yeah.
right? In regards to cyborgs, we're back to governmental agencies like DARPA or anything else. We have now, probably within the next years, robots will start, cyborg will start becoming part of the military,
Yeah, we're pretty good.
right? As well as also police, slowly.
Yeah.
Sarah
Um,
Connor,
That what?
Sarah Connor, Terminator.
Robocop. Yeah,
So, but the whole concept of what Dr. Francesca was talking about, the fact that any kind of enhancements, we become cyborgs. So I'm thinking, is it going to be like going with your car and getting a new battery? Because you can get a new battery, and that battery can last for a year, or 5 years, or 10 years. Will it be the same thing when we have these enhancements? You can get a heart, as I've already know friends of mine who have already
Well, it's like you say, I had a brain injury.
twice,
Yeah.
they've already had to go and get their heart rejuvenated
Yeah.
with batteries and stuff like that.
I have glasses.
Well, it's like when I had my brain injury, you know, I mentioned it here, but now I have a hear it.
Exactly,
So it's like-
exactly. And does this also give you a sense of timelessness in regards to these enhancements? All of a sudden you have a new heart, or you have eyes, or you have any particular different organs. Does this give you that sense of timelessness and agelessness, which slowly taps into the transhumanistic philosophy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that the transhumanists think, I mean, they want to extend their life, they want to, they want to make this being last forever. And it's, I mean, for me, I'm fine with my hearing aid. I don't mind. I'm quite looking forward to dying. I want to kind of leave my legacy, my work, for other people to interpret. I don't want to be here a long time. I want to be here as far as I'm meant to be. I've already been near death before when I had my injury, so it's quite an exquisite experience, actually.
Well, what's interesting is that with enhancements, possibly in the future, we won't have the choice.
Well, I think
We won't have the choice to say when we're going to die or not, because that choice will be given to the people who are enhancing us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
I enjoyed, so we talked about plastic surgery and having a heart replacement or a hip replacement. I think these are two good examples of like contemporary enhancements. One of which is like highly accepted by anybody. Yeah, anybody who's like can't walk anymore, like replaces their hip and they can walk again. Super happy. And yet when we see women with cat faces and whatnot, we kind of like organically we're like, oh, what the fuck, no, like this is wrong, like, and there's no coming back, you know. And you tend to like you seem to like to sort of immerse yourself in this experience of all these enhancements that would have the second kind of reaction of refusal and like disgust or whatever, with no way back, which is sort of like a dystopian.
Yes.
So my question is like, why do you immerse yourself and go so deep into some kind of a future dystopian vision, and where does that come from, and why do you enjoy doing that? Do you think that you're actually describing the future, or you just like yourself to you kind of build of the sort of the worst possible nightmare and kind of like immerse yourself in that vision, and then why do you do that, and why do you get out?
For me, that's the question. For me, like,
because we don't know is what I'm saying.
yeah, well, for me, that growing up as a child, like as I said in the 80s, I mean, all these things I used to watch, I was stealing tapes that had aliens on them. I was watching this when I was 10 years old, and commando films, and I was always obsessed with the idea of machinery coming on my face. It's always been like kind of very intrinsic to me, and it's kind of really fascinating that like the simulacrum, that like, these things that were science fiction to me as a child are now real. They're not science fiction anymore. They're becoming real. So like, what I'm afraid for is that when we lose all flesh, and when we lose, because we'll lose all flesh, it's going to change. There's not going to be any flesh left. I know it's a bit vague, my kind of answers, but
No, but you're getting back to your thing of explaining that it's going to become like that, but we don't know. So I'm asking you, like, what does it trigger for you to immerse yourself in that kind of
Because I'm
vision?
still fascinated by the idea of it. I'm still fascinated by trying to visualize it. And how I don't know. It's how I visualize. I see how humanity will morph, it's like, I find, it's an intrinsic part to my work and as me as a person, and it's really fascinated by this idea, Because it's conceptual as well,
Can I build on it for once? Do you mind?
Can we
Sure,
take-
no, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, let's, Francesca will come back. Yes.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for this incredible presentation, because there was all the empathy, you really believe in your work, and this came out in your talk, so that was really touching for me. I also had the pleasure to meet Graham 1 hour before coming here, and I was really impressed by how much this art is, it's you and your vision of the future. Like you're seeing the future, which is also the present already.
Yeah.
This is not just the future, this is already happening.
Yeah.
I want to tell one thing that I was really impressed by, and they don't know. Actually, Graham drew this all in one line. And I thought it was very interesting because it's this idea of the connection between biology and technology. This is merging already in
Similar
his
to
drawing.
this idea, this notion of, you know,
Yeah, and so it's all in one line. He doesn't stop. He just keep on until the whole drawing is done. Of course, for each, this will be three beings. So it will be one line, the first, and second line, and third line. So that was very impressive for me because he's really already merging the two elements, or more than that, because we are thinking only of biology and technology, but there are many more features there that we're not even mentioning. Now, I want to say that this is, on my side, I see what you're seeing, but I also seeing, again, I don't see the future, I see the present. On some level, I see the past
yeah,
too, you know.
Yeah.
This is happening, this is already, this is the past present. And there is, it's like a picture, but there is also the element of the uncanny, talking
Yeah,
about
definitely.
Freud and the uncanny valley in cybernetics. So, yeah, I was really impressed by the fact that this is not, there is no separation anymore in his drawing. There is not biology, technology, they are merging very well. And this is existence, so it's not just beautiful and happiness and we're all happy. This is life. You're going to be dying, you're going to be crying, you're going to be happy, you're going to be eating, you're going to be shitting, you're going to be,
Yeah, as we
you're going to do everything here.
Yeah.
You know, this is life. It's not just this untouchable thing,
Yeah.
it's just pure, and this is this dimension, this is this existence. So I thought that your work was really much a picture, a drawing picture of the present. And I was really impressed by the empathy of your presentation, because I thought it was really an artist talking, a real artist. And I really want to thank you. It was really special for
thank
me.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. We should.
And I think there was something else, or not? There was anything else? Roberto, you want you?
Yeah, but I don't want to monopolize all the.
We'll do
Okay.
it over drinks.
Okay.
We'll do it over